The origins of the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park are an unusual mix of paleontology, creative license, and cinematic storytelling. However, when Michael Crichton was researching for his 1990 novel Jurassic Park, he leaned on the work of paleontologist Gregory S. Paul, who controversially proposed that the closely related Deinonychus should be reclassified under the genus Velociraptor. Later discoveries added even more to the conversation. Achillobator, a giant Mongolian dromaeosaur, and Dakota raptor, a feathered predator from Montana, described in 2015. Both resemble the film's raptors far more closely than Velociraptor mongoliensis ever did. Dakota raptor in particular was uncanny, being not only the right size and build, but also found in Montana, the very location where Alan Grant encounters fossilized raptors in the film. In the Jurassic Park universe, Velociraptors were not true prehistoric animals, but synthetic transgenic clones engineered by InGen on Isla Sorna in the early 1990s. Scientists extracted degraded dinosaur DNA from mosquitoes in amber and filled in the gaps with modern animal genes, initially experimenting with poison dart frog DNA before switching to the common reed frog, which stabilized embryos but introduced the ability to change sex and breed. By 1992, Dr. Henry Wu confirmed their intelligence and social communication, and 26 raptors were created, 8 of which were moved to Isla Nublar for Jurassic Park. There, an unusually aggressive female dubbed the Big One killed most of her packmates to assert dominance. Though they retain natural traits like sickle claws and pack hunting, their behavior, appearance, and reproductive abilities were shaped by InGen's genetic patchwork, making them chimeric creations rather than a pure species. The lowland velociraptors were the first raptor variant introduced in Jurassic Park and are often considered the classic version of the species. Genetically engineered by InGen on Isla Nublar, they were derived from transgenic cloning that spliced recovered dinosaur DNA with fragments from modern animals to fill genetic gaps, making them synthetic creatures rather than true prehistoric replicas. These raptors displayed clear sexual dimorphism. The females bore a muted brown coloration with faint striping and green, crocodile-like eyes, while the males were more vividly marked, resembling tigers with bold stripes and yellow eyes. From birth, they exhibited an unusual trait of imprinting on the first creature they saw, ensuring deep loyalty to that individual, even across species lines. They grew rapidly, becoming highly dangerous predators by only 8 months of age, capable of sprinting up to 50 to 60 miles per hour in open terrain and leaping to astonishing heights. Behaviorally, the lowland raptors were defined by their stealth and cunning. Unlike later raptor variants, they vocalized less during hunts, often relying on silence and coordinated ambushes to corner prey, a behavior Dr. Alan Grant had previously theorized about wild dromaeosaurs. They also demonstrated a social structure similar to wolves, with dominance battles that could turn violent. This was most infamously displayed by the Big One, the alpha female of the Isla Nublar pack, who killed most of the other raptors in the paddock to assert control, sparing only 2 subordinates. Their combination of speed, stealth, and pack coordination made them formidable predators and a defining terror of the franchise, cementing their place as the most iconic representation of InGen's cloned velociraptors. The Highland velociraptors introduced in Jurassic Park 3 represented a striking departure from the raptor design seen in the first 2 films. Their physical appearance was marked by several new features, most notably elongated skulls and prominent nasal crests, traits not present in earlier versions. They also displayed sexual dimorphism. Males were grayish-blue with light blue striping, smaller red eyes ringed with blue, and distinctive red crests and quills on their heads, while females were beige with black markings, yellow eyes, and subtler crests. Both sexes sometimes showed differences in pupil shape, These physical changes have been loosely explained by John Rosengrant, one of the creature designers, who suggested that the raptors had undergone biological evolution since the Lost World. However, a more plausible in-universe explanation is that they were genetically engineered, which would account for their absence in the earlier films. Behaviorally, Highland raptors were portrayed as more vocal, intelligent, and cooperative than their lowland counterparts. They employed elaborate hunting strategies, such as using distraction and baiting tactics to draw out prey, most notably when a male staged an ambush by pretending to be one of the laboratory's preserved specimens, or when Udesky was pinned and left alive as bait to lure his companions. Unlike the aggressive dominant struggles of the lowland pack, Highland raptors demonstrated a strong sense of hierarchy and respect for their alpha, with disputes settled through displays of authority rather than violence. They were also shown to be fiercely protective of their nests and eggs, relentlessly pursuing intruders who disturbed them, suggesting a more socially cohesive and family-driven structure. Taken together, their appearance, nesting behavior, and advanced hunting coordination imply that the Highland Velociraptors were either a later, more refined genetic line of InGen's experiments or a deliberately engineered variant. Now, the IBRIS project Velociraptors. These were first seen in Jurassic World and were the result of InGen's attempt to refine and weaponize raptors by creating individuals with enhanced behavioral conditioning and unique physical traits. Unlike earlier variants, each member of the IBRIS pack were engineered with distinctive appearances and subtle DNA infusions from other animals. These additions were mostly cosmetic, affecting their skin tones and patterns. Blue was given black-throated monitor DNA. Delta had enhanced avian DNA that influenced her bird-like movements. Echo carried green iguana DNA, and Charlie also had bird DNA integrated. Physically, they were designed as a blend of both earlier variations of raptors, incorporating traits reminiscent of the lowland and highland lines, while standing apart with individual body structures and head shapes. Behaviorally, the IBRIS raptors retained the core traits of their predecessors while exhibiting greater individuality. They were capable of imprinting at birth, forming powerful loyalty bonds to their trainer, as seen with Owen Grady, though his loyalty was not unshakable. Like the Highland raptors, they relied heavily on vocalizations to communicate during hunts, but they also displayed aggressive social behaviors to establish hierarchy, as evidenced by Blue's dominance over Charlie or her fights with Echo. Each raptor had its own personality, with Blue being the most intelligent and empathetic, Delta more bird-like in behavior, Echo aggressive and scarred from dominant struggles, and Charlie the youngest and most naive. Beyond Isla Nublar, Manticorp also acquired a pair of raptors resembling this variation, though their exact genetic source remains unclear. Altogether, the IBRIS raptors represented InGen's most advanced and individualized iteration of Velociraptors. Lastly, Mutadons. The Mutadons were a failed experiment in hybridization, engineered by InGen in 2010 at a secret facility on Ile Saint-Hubert. Conceived as one of several prototypes for Jurassic World's planned attractions, they were created by splicing Velociraptor DNA with that of pteranodons. The intention was to merge the intelligence and pack-hunting ferocity of raptors with the flight capabilities of pterosaurs, but the result was a savage and unstable hybrid. When the facility was overrun during the containment breach of the Distortus Rex, the surviving Mutadons escaped into the wild. Abandoned and left unchecked for nearly 2 decades, they bred into a feral population that came to dominate parts of the island, even competing directly with Velociraptors for territory and prey. Physically, Mutadons carry traits of both progenitors in unsettling fashion. They bear pterosaur-like wings with orange patagia, beaked jawline with serrated teeth, powerful talons, and a white and black patterned body with striped forelimbs. Their voices are a chilling fusion of Velociraptor screeches and pteranodon squawks, producing an eerie, disorienting call. Behaviorally, they are relentless hunters, capable of violent charges that kill instantly before seizing their prey and carrying it aloft. They display both brute strength and tactical awareness. Unlike standard pteranodons, they perch upright like birds of prey, ambushing from above, and they display curious bird-like instincts, even acting aggressively to their own reflections. While they can hunt alone, Mutadons have also been observed working in loose coordination when stalking groups of humans, showing a degree of adaptability in their predatory methods. Their presence, marked by their shrill calls and sudden aerial strikes, cemented their reputation as one of InGen's most dangerous abominations. And that brings us to the end. Comment down your thoughts on what you'd like to see next. Hope you've enjoyed the video. See you next time. Take care.